What's your opinion on the industry transition to IP, and what role does TICO play in that?
Okay. Well, as the document editor of SMPTE 2110, I've been deeply involved in the industry transition to IP, and I'm really excited to see it taking root and happening worldwide. That said, uncompressed is great inside a facility, but as soon as you're going longer distances or over very challenged links, it's very helpful to have a compression methodology. So, upcoming SMPTE 2110-22 describes how to incorporate compressed essences into the 2110 ecosystem, and it can be used for compressed formats like TICO or the upcoming JPEG-XS codec, both of which are excellent examples of using a basic compression technology to reduce bandwidth while providing production-grade imagery.
Well, IP is an international distribution medium for data, and broadcasting and the transmission of video is all about sending data now that everything's in a digital world. But of course, video, the amount of data you're talking about can be enormous. 12 gigs for a UHD channel, and very often that's just not realistic. So the role that TICO plays is providing this essential 4:1 compression ratio without imposing the constraints of a traditional codec. And this is enabling broadcasters to use IP more with other technologies that, of course, we've introduced in the product as well. And they want to do that to implement new flexible ways of working, to break the constraints of a physical cable within a single site, which is what SDI imposes. And so these new workflows and business models that can be introduced enable them to do content production and distribution more efficiently than ever before.
Well, the industry is definitely on a path to transitioning. The path would be better served by running a little faster, but we always hope for that. Obviously, we're heavily invested in IP with our product portfolio and our customer base, so we're excited to see the path to IP accelerate and for adoption to pick up as quickly as possible. As far as what role TICO plays in this market, of course, we've already seen TICO in the metro and carrier Ethernet market, and what ST2110 really brings and really drives up the usage is it brings IP into the studio. And TICO can certainly play a role in that, again, because it's recompressible, it's visually lossless. Bringing it into the studio is really important for us. It's really important for the industry. It allows 10 gig network infrastructure to be used. We're also very excited about the SMPTE 2110-22 standard being released sometime soon, which will standardize the use of TICO in network.
So Nevion has been a firm believer for a long time that IP was inevitable. We were one of the pioneers of using IP in contribution more than a decade ago, and now we're seeing IP appear both in the facilities but also in remote production. And with IP, we're seeing at the same time a demand for higher resolutions, particularly in in major events, particularly sports events. And clearly TICO fits very neatly into that combination of higher quality video and IP infrastructure. And that's also why we're backing TICO.
So the industry transition to IP is starting to occur, actually has been occurring for some time. SDI mostly is 1080i 50, some migration to 1080p, and there's a smaller migration to 4K. The infrastructure that's being deployed mostly is 10 gigabit infrastructure because it's fairly cost effective now to do that. The 4K signals at 12 gigabit don't really play in that infrastructure. And most of the IP infrastructure that's going in is 10 gigabit based. We see 4K using TICO coding playing into that infrastructure very easily and being a good play for our customers now. Maybe in the future, as the IP networks get higher bandwidth, then there could be an uncompressed play, but right now the TICO coded video within the 10 gigabit infrastructure makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, it's sure. I think one thing we can all agree on is that at some point the industry will go to IP, and there are a tremendous amount of advantages that are illustrated in a lot of different workflows that unfortunately today are not available yet. And I think that with TICO you play a very good role in there in making that transition easier. Just a simple example, I just gave about 4K over IP. If you want to do that, I think there are no magic ways to do that today. We know that in the future, in the ST2110-22, there will be some compression in there, and of course we are looking very forward to supporting also here the JPEG-XS from TICO inside our products and having some kind of a standardized form. But I think the road that went to there is mainly also related to the TICO RDD35, which showed the example and showed what was possible and what could be done. And so we are looking very forward to the ST2110-22 standard for more IP development to start and to be deployed into the market. I think it's really a key factor for the IP market to move forward.
So the transition to IP is already happening for some years. I think it's the basic stepping stone to a complete new way of doing production, doing the broadcast chain end to end. It's very much needed because our customers demand more agile production and broadcast infrastructures in general. The eyeballs are changing hands and changing channels more often than before. So an agile environment based on IP is the way forward. We as Aperi actually say, well, IP is a good step, but it's the step towards virtualization. So run your functions in software so that you can change your as the customer needs change, you change your whole environment with it without having to buy new boxes or to recable whole complete new infrastructure. So the software, the virtualization element combined with IP is the way forward. We have already the World Cup, we have premium sports in Australia, all running on a virtualized IP native platform. And that is only going to continue, and we'll see in the next few years that all the installations, all the expansions will be based on an architecture like that. So the role of TICO in here is very important. It gives you the extra flexibility of bandwidth, especially when we go to 2110, which was ratified last year. The 2110-22 is the compressed standard that is in the works. TICO plays a big role in that, and especially the upcoming TICO-XS algorithm, that it gives you even more range on your compression format. As we want, and what we see from customers, that they really want to have a visually lossless, as much as possible, end-to-end solution. And TICO has proven that as the TICO in 4K and HD, but certainly the TICO-XS will bring a step forward even there to do that across a lower bandwidth production environment. So that's how I see the way forward. My name is Joop, the CEO of Aperi.
I'm Marc Levy with Macnica Technology.
I'm David Mitchinson. I'm Solutions Manager at AppearTV.
My name is Olivier Suard. I'm the VP of Marketing of Nevion.
Hi, I'm John Dale with MediaLink.
I'm Stephen from Deltacast.
We are a member of the TICO Alliance.